Hi, everyone. Today I want to talk about manufacturers and the manufacturer's handbook for human beings. Not many people realize that we've actually got a manufacturer's handbook for human beings, not only just for human beings, but also for all of creation, all of the world, how to do it. And it's interesting with manufacturers' handbooks, when someone makes a product, what they actually do is they create a handbook on how to best use that product. Now, if we buy a car, there's a manufacturer's, there's an owner's manual, shows us how to look after the car, how to service the car, how to use all the instruments, etc., etc. If we buy like a new computer or a tablet or even a phone or whatever it is that's been manufactured by someone, there is a manufacturer's handbook on how to best use that. And we as human beings, we've got a handbook, a manufacturer's handbook for us. And the interesting thing is with this manufacturer's handbook, let me just give you some details on this. This manufacturer's handbook was collectively written by some 40 authors, written over a period of 1,500 years. So 40 authors over 1,500 years wrote the manufacturer's handbook for us on how to live life, how to treat the world around us, how to tend to the earth and look after and be a good steward of it. And the interesting thing is those 40 authors over 1,500 years, even though they come from different cultures, they come from different nations, different times in history. As I said, over 1,500 years, they collectively wrote this, and this is the way we're meant to live life. So I'm not quite sure. You can see over my shoulder here, find your destiny. Well, this manufacturer's handbook is the way that you can find your destiny, and not only find your destiny on how you can live life and live life to the fullest, how we're meant to live life, how we enjoy life in interaction with each other, how we look after our finances, etc., how we're to tend to the earth and be stewards of the earth. And we talk about climate culture, climate change, and all of these other things. Well, the manufacturer's handbook for human beings shows us how to do all of those things, how to be good stewards of it. And it's amazing when you think about it, that over 1,500 years, from different countries, different nations, these 40 writers sat down and wrote out the manufacturer's handbook. That I find is quite extraordinary. Now, I've been reading this manufacturer's handbook for now some 30 plus years, and I find it's amazing. You know, really beforehand, I had no idea what my destiny was. I had no idea how I was really meant to live life, and how to really enjoy life, etc. And I came across this manufacturer's handbook. And the interesting thing, it's a bit like the first 41 or 42 years of my life. It's like buying the latest model car with all the gadgets and the gizmos and the things that it's got on them, but no one gives you an instruction manual. And it says, here it is, go and drive it. Doesn't show you how to start it, doesn't show you how to lock it up, doesn't show you how to use the controls. You've got no idea at all. Now, you can take that for, that point of view from a car to any other gadget, a kitchen, a utensil, a kitchen gadgets, whatever it is that manufacturers have made. It is really difficult to live or to use a new equipment if you don't know how to use or haven't got a manufacturer's handbook. And I have found, as I said, I found this manufacturer's handbook some 30 plus years ago. In fact, it was the 23rd of May, 1990 that I stumbled across it. And since then, I've been using this manufacturer's handbook on how to live life, how to, look after my finances, how to look after my wife, how to look after, life and interaction with people. This manufacturer's handbook covers every part of living life, and it is fantastic. And the interesting thing is, most people just totally reject it out of hand. In fact, the majority of people around the world, they just want to live life and just accordingly to whatever way they want. And then we all scratch our heads wondering why the world is in such a mess, because we threw away or the majority of people have thrown away the manufacturer's handbook. They've just ignored it. And this was designed for human beings. It's specifically and uniquely been designed for us. How to live life to its fullest, how to interact with the people around us, the do's and the don'ts, just like it is. Don't run a red light, or, don't, with a motor car. If you never put oil in it, or you never put, even at the very basics, if you never put fuel in it, it's not going to run. It's not, and if you put the wrong fuel in, it's going to run poorly. Well, the manufacturer's handbook for human beings stops you or helps you to not do the wrong things that's going to hurt yourself or hurt the others. And the interesting thing is, with this manufacturer's handbook, there's many different versions of it, but in essence, it still comes back to one unified book that and it's actually broken into 66 sections within this manufacturer's manual. And as I said, written by some 40 writers over some 1,500 years, which I find is quite extraordinary. And the interesting thing is the harmony and the unity of it is amazing. When you actually study it, the harmony of it written through it is amazing. Now, let me introduce you to the manufacturer's handbook. And the interesting thing is, most of you haven't bothered to, use it. Yet you wonder why life is not working. I found the more I read the instructions on how to live life as a human being, out of this human manufacturer's handbook by the creator, is that it's just, life is fantastic. And I can look you in the eye and say, life is fantastic. Life has never been better since I started using and reading the manufacturer's handbook, and then also applying the principles of it. Now, most of you have heard about the manufacturer's handbook and believe that it's out of date, or, it's not relevant or whatever. And then you scratch your head and wonder why life's not working. Relationships with people are not working. My finances are not working. It's just the world is falling apart. And it's like, oh, dear, I wonder what's happening. I wonder why this is. Well, we've got to go back to the manufacturer's handbook and read it and apply the principles in the manufacturer's manual to get it. And the manufacturer's manual that was created by the ultimate manufacturer of all things is this book. And this book is called the Bible. And this one that I got in my hand, this one is amazing, because not only do you have some 40 writers that originally wrote it, there's now modern day scholars, expert, it'd be like, let's talk it for motor cars. It's like the manufacturer of the car has got his specialized mechanics and instructors to teach you on how to actually read the manufacturer's manual. And in this manufacturer's manual, not only has it got the details on how to live life, but you've got some 40 to 50 very skilled contributors to it to explain how to read the manufacturer's manual, how to be able to study and do it. And then if you don't understand some of the parts, they've given you study notes and all sorts of things on here, how to make it relevant. And right in the front of this manufacturer's manual, they've got a section, they've broken it down into study sections, just like you do in a motor vehicle, where how to, the interior, the mechanicals, the safety items, etc., etc. Well, in this manufacturer's manual, which is the Bible, these some 50 contributors have written little commentary journeys through it. And let me read some of these. Some of these are written on personal growth, spiritual empowerment. Let me just go back a bit further. So let me just read some of these to you. Let me just, some of these there. Just bear with me. So let me just show some of these, because there's heaps and heaps of them. So there's growth in life enrichment, how to interpret dreams and visions in the Bible, spiritual empowerment, the call unity, Marriage, spiritual leadership, how to be a leader, also how to live as a family. And women, the role that women have. There's a special section just for this. This is an amazing book on the book of life, and this one's called the New King James Spirit-Filled Life Bible. And that's what it is, the New King James Spirit Life Bible. You can find it on Amazon. You can find it, if you're in Australia, on Kurong, and there's many places that you can do it. But this book is the manufacturer's handbook, the ultimate handbook on how we are to live life and interact with each other and be caretakers and stewards of the world around us. So I hope you join me in doing this. I mean, if you're any good at reading people, you can see by the expression on my face and the joy in my eyes and the joy on my face, this book has changed my life. Now, you can keep going the way you're going and just try to do it. And, just don't use the manufacturer's manual, but this is the ultimate one. This is the ultimate manual. There's lots of other imposters out there that want to do and give you other interpretations. But why would you go and read the copycats or the regurgitated ones or the ones that want to dispute this? Why wouldn't you just go to the ultimate manual by the ultimate creator, which is God himself, inspired these 40 writers over 1,500 years to help us as human beings on earth be good stewards of the earth and be good interaction with each other. Every facet of our life, every facet, nothing is left out in the manufacturer's handbook on how to live life. Well, hope that's helpful. Don't forget the manufacturer's handbook, and this, I'm biased. This one is just a brilliant one. This one has changed my life. New King James Spirit-Filled Life Bible. Just type that in and it'll come up, and you can find it will change your life. Plus, the other thing is, we wrote a series called Growing Deep and Strong. And if you go to our website, growingdeepandstrong.com, we will take you through a very systematic way of living out of this Bible. And we can do it in a 19 weeks session. In 19 weeks, you will know how you are meant to live life according to the manufacturer's handbook. And the site is called Growing Deep and Strong, growingdeepandstrong.com. Go to it and you'll find the information on how you can fast track yourself through this book. God bless you. Have a great day. Hope this is helpful. Bye.